love these little jaunts through the woods with the golf cart, although they are bumpy. It kind of puts the camera's image stabilization to the test. It's an unimproved forest trail. Whew. Which brings us to the orchard, the cabin orchard. This tree behind me is a Lady Jean apple. It blossomed out well last year. All the blossoms were froze. This year blossomed out well again too, but looks like over the winter it was damaged by rodents. So you can see that it looks chewed up in there. About 80% around the tree is girded. So just the north side, do I still have some bark left? I'm gonna get a shot of that. So the tree is starving, struggling. I probably should cut a big portion of the top off and that might give it a chance, or graft some bridge graft in the bottom. A bridge graft can be a savior for the orchardist who finds winter damage to a prized tree caused by rabbits or mice. But there's a problem. Bridge grafting is done only when absolutely necessary, and it's a good idea to have experience doing it, because when it's needed, you don't want the grafts to fail. Here's the catch. No one ever wants to have to do it. At that moment, you're all distressed, anxious, and generally ticked off that you didn't wrap your tree with bark protectors the previous fall as you'd intended to do. You're not really in the proper mood to learn a new craft. My Lady Jean apple tree had a vinyl bark protector on it, but the vole got in past it and girded 80% of the tree anyway. The trees out here tend to be a lot of kind of biennial because they don't get a lot of sunlight with all the woods around. So I get a few, since we didn't have a long blossoming, or a good blossoming time this year. There's only a few apples here and there on most of the trees. Maybe enough for a taste. That's a good size one right there. See that ring right there around the tree? That's a frost ring. So this tree has some up in the inner, inside it. I'll get a taste of this one, the Richelieu. For those of you growing Honeycrisp, I've noticed that the Honeycrisp grow better on a larger rootstock, not on the dwarfing, the M26, the M7, the G30s. They tend to have the iron chlorosis problems. But on the larger, like M106 and M111, that's what this one is, one of those two. The trees look pretty healthy. They stay green. and don't have the chlorosis problem so much. So I'm getting some, I got some on the Honeycrisp here. That's good. My Rome has survived the girding. They had some pretty, I cut off a lot of limbs. A lot of the tips died back, so I cut them back, cut most of the top off the tree. But I'm getting some apples, at least one or two in a cluster. This is a smoothie. It's got a pretty good set on it. And I have a few McCowan and red quartz also. Although when there's only, a dozen apples or less on a tree, I don't really count them. Yeah, the squirrels usually pick them out. I got some Fujis here. They're pretty light this year. I don't know why. I think I need to cut back some more trees to get some more sunlight. Well, that's the problem with a woodland setting. Well, this is Kent from Sandhill Orchards signing off.